So hello everyone, my name is Jim Bradford. I'm the Deputy Garrison Manager for USAG Rheinland-Pfalz in the Baumholder Military Community. Next to me today is Ms. Charm Sutton, our Housing Division Chief here in the Baumholder Military Community as well. And today's objective is to talk all things housing, where we are today and where we're going in the future and stuff. So first, Ms. Sutton, thank you for taking some time to be able to talk with us today, but equally important to be able to relay some information and stuff to our residents, soldiers, and families here in the community.
It's not a problem. I think that it is extremely important to make sure that our service members and their families get an accurate portrait of what they can expect when arriving to Baumholder Military Community, in addition to the housing that hopefully they'll be occupying.
All right. So we're here in front of a big building, and we're clearly looking at stairwell living and traditional apartments. And so before we go in and take a look at the apartment and talk all things housing, talk to me a little bit about what type of housing that we have here in the community and what a new family could expect when they come into the housing office.
No problem. So here in Baumholder, we have a little over 1,200 apartment homes, and majority of those homes are stairwell or apartment flats. Most of our inventory is 2 bedrooms, but we have a number of projects scheduled for the future where the inventory will shift from 2-bedroom homes to 3-bedroom homes. This happens to be a traditional apartment community or apartment building, but again, we do have additional types of homes that will be available in the future. Would you like to see one?
Absolutely. Hey, Ms. Sutton, before we go into the apartment, so I've been in quite a few of these, and one of the things that I always notice when I go into a stairwell or an apartment is there's always lots of information out, which is good, but who is responsible for that? What is it used for, and how does this help us in the housing to communicate with our residents?
Fair question. So in our stairwell apartment homes, we have bulletin boards that display a ton of information about the community. Each building is assigned a building manager, and it's their responsibility to ensure points of contact are available for our residents. There's community events that are posted, and building quiet hours are available here to ensure that our residents are able to enjoy their apartment homes. One of the main functions of the bulletin board is the cleaning roster. The upkeep, i.e. the landscaping of the building, and the cleaning or cleanliness of the stairwells is a responsibility that's shared by all of the occupants in the building. The building manager is the person that will create that roster and post it for residents to see, and then that in tune ensures that the building itself is maintained.
Okay, so if I'm a resident here, really one of the things that I want to do early on then is to link up and kind of make sure that I am aware of what the building manager rules are, the cleaning schedule, and so I can be part of this community and part of the team to take care of the entire building.
Absolutely. At your move-in, a resident handbook is provided, so that you're able to kind of familiarize yourself with a basic outline of the roster and or responsibilities of each occupant. But again, the bulletin board is where you can find your building manager information. Their apartment number will be listed as well as a point of contact. And in most cases, our building managers are really good about reaching out to new residents to familiarize themselves with them and introduce themselves to the new resident and community members.
Right, and they're a liaison directly back to you if there's problems or issues with the building to be able to work that with Public Works.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, great. Let's take a look at the apartment.
Okay. Hey, Mr. Bradford, let's check out the kitchen first.
Okay. So Ms. Sutton, outside you talked about traditional renovated right side. We're clearly here inside of a kitchen. So is this something that I would expect in every home? It just may be a little bit different whether it's modernized or not. And what are kind of some of the differences that we would expect as we have that conversation with that customer service representative at the housing office?
So, like you mentioned, we do have a number of different apartment home styles. Our inventory dates back to the 50s. Some of our homes have not been renovated yet. This particular home has had a partial renovation, so that's what we will discuss and emphasize when offering this to a customer at the housing office. As you can see, the kitchen has been renovated, so it's not completely untouched, but it's definitely not modernized. We have right-sized homes as well, and what that means is that the kitchens have been renovated, the flooring has been renovated, and additional changes have been made in the layout to make the living space and bedroom spaces larger.
Okay. Alrighty, so if I remember correctly, I think our washers and dryers originally actually used to be down in the basement, and I've always been told that the homes originally didn't even have a washer, a dishwasher. So do all of our homes now, whether I'm getting a 2-bedroom or a 4-bedroom, do they all come with a washer and dryer? Do they all have a dishwasher?
Yes, all of our homes will include a dishwasher, and all of our homes will include a washer and dryer. However, in the traditional or unrenovated homes, our washer and dryers are in the kitchen space. In our renovated and right-sized homes, you have a separate laundry area for your washing machine and dryer.
Okay, so as we have modernized and as we move into the future and kind of right-size or more modernize other buildings, part of that renovation is to create some form of utility room to be able to put that washer and dryer in. Until then, we have access to one, but it's not in its own separate room.
Absolutely. And the goal, of course, is to make your home as comfortable as possible. And while a lot of our residents appreciate the fact that we have washing machine and dryers in the actual home, so they don't have to go to the basement to do their laundry, it's still kind of an inconvenience, right? Going forward, in all of our modernization and the projects that we have in the out years, there will be separate utility spaces for our residents.
Okay, all right. But most of our kitchens that we have, and probably much like our living room and dining room space, really is kind of just an open concept for a family to be able to come in and kind of organize how they want, even though the space may not necessarily be as big as what they had in RCI housing in the U.S.
Couldn't have said it better.
Okay.
The housing here in Europe overall is typically going to be smaller than what you'll find in RCI or privatized housing. However, the construction of the apartment homes allows for you to be creative, use a little bit of ingenuity because the spaces aren't as constricted. There's not the same amount of square footage, but there's really good living space that we have here.
Alrighty, good. Can we see the rest of the apartment?
Yeah, let's go.
Alrighty. So Ms. Sutton, it's like the kitchen, this is really open concept as well then. It's just, it's a big room, and it allows families kind of options of how they want to set up based upon their household goods, number of children, things of that nature.
Absolutely. In most of our apartments, it will be open concept with no intrusions. This will allow you to create your dining room space how you like, arrange your living room the way that you'd like, essentially create the flow that you would like, that works for your family.
Okay. So I know in my own experience when I signed for an Army family home, you come in, you do an inspection, you sign a whole bunch of paperwork, you get some keys, you get an SOP, But I also know that that's really within the first kind of 2 weeks to the month that you're here. And you don't really still have your feet underneath you, so to speak.
Sure.
So if I get into my home and I have, hey, I didn't see that on the inspection, I have a question about how to use that. How do I do that?
So what you would do is contact DPW's service order desk. They are open throughout the week. There are after hours operations as well for emergencies, but you'd call them with whatever issue that you're having with your home. They in turn would complete the service order for you, or take the service order for you, excuse me, and schedule a time to come out and make the repairs that you requested.
Okay, what about like how to use the washer and dryer if it is European? Is that something that I would do with DPW, or is that something that I would kind of go back to the housing office and say, hey, I have a question, there's, how do I use this? How do I open the window? Things of that nature.
In all honesty, you could do both. I honestly feel like the most efficient way would be to call the housing office,
Sure.
and talk to one of our customer service personnel, and they should be able to walk you through that process over the phone. If you need some hands-on experience, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to come and just show you really quickly how to utilize your appliances, how to operate German or European windows, because those are a little bit different, or the radiators, for example.
Right, sure.
Those are,
Right.
really small things that don't take a lot of time to show you how to operate, but they make a difference in how well you're able to enjoy your home.
Okay, so once I kind of get settled and I understand, all right, here's how everything is supposed to work, I still have an opportunity to have those conversations, to make corrections on my inspections. And so over the course of my time here, then I am starting off on the right foot.
You would be. So in regards to the inspection, you do have an allotted time period to annotate any deficiencies in your home. You would then turn that documentation or turn that list of deficiencies into the housing office. We would ensure that a service order was generated for you to make sure that those deficiencies are corrected. However, during your occupancy of the home, if there was something that malfunctioned, that broke, or needed repair, or just something that you had questions about, that's when you would utilize DPW service order.
Okay. So another thing that I hear quite a bit is about self-help. What is self-help, and if I'm a resident, can I use self-help?
Sure. Self-help is a supplementary service that's provided by DPW, and it essentially allows residents to take ownership of their home. So if there are minor repairs, i.e. light bulb replacements that they can facilitate on their own, and they don't want to wait for DPW to come and do that for them, they can head over to self-help, grab the items that they need, and make those minor repairs themselves. Self-help also provides color, seasonal color if you're into gardening, seeds. They will loan you equipment for lawn work or other repairs that you may want to make around your home. It's pretty much a catch-all for our residents.
Okay, and I suspect that the hours, the type of items that are available in the self-help store are probably in that SOP book that you gave me on day one, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the self-help item listing is available in the resident handbook. Their hours of operation are on DPW's website as well.
Okay.
If you need to go to self-help, you can just head over to building 8665. They're open throughout the week, although they close kind of early. Monday through Wednesday, they close around 1300. They have late hours until 1500 on Thursday, and then early hours again on Friday.
Okay, fantastic. So let's go and see a bedroom.
Let's go.
All right, so this is a bedroom. Do they all look like this?
For the most part, they all kind of look like this. There will be differences in the size, but our traditional or unrenovated homes will have the built-ins. Our renovated, right-sized homes will have wardrobes as well, but they're not built-in, they're standalone wardrobes. But for the most part, all of our traditional homes will look pretty much like this.
Okay, so when I sign for a home, I may get storage that comes with it beyond my own clothes dressers, bureaus, things of that nature. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you could, yes, that's what I'm saying. In addition to the wardrobes that you have here, our apartment buildings or stairwell buildings have additional storage in the basement for our families.
Okay, so if no matter what apartment I get, beyond the storage that is available that's built in, there's also a storage unit that I would get in the basement that I'd be able to put like my seasonal items, my Christmas tree, Easter type items, bikes, kids' toys, things of that nature. Is that?
That is correct.
Okay, all righty. And so I know we're not outside. We started there. I should have probably asked that question then. What about parking? Do I get an assigned parking space?
You do. All of our residents in our apartment homes have one assigned parking space per unit or per apartment. There are visitor spaces and open spaces along all of the buildings. However, with most of our families having 2 cars or in excess of 2 cars, sometimes parking could get tight.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So we've seen the kitchen, we've seen the living room, and the bedroom now. I think the last thing that we need to see is the bathroom, right? All right. I'll let you lead.
Awesome.
All right, so Miss Sutton, I know we're in the bathroom here, kind of our last stop, and so I've got to ask, one of the things that we hear a lot about is brown water. What is it? How do we take care of it? We know that brown water is from the iron deposits in our pipes. We know that that's one of our major objectives that we're tackling or going after when we do our renovations and our modernizations that you talked about a little bit earlier and stuff. So when a resident signs for a home here, what do you tell them about what they can do or should do about the brown water, the iron that comes into the faucets, and how it can clear quickly, or if they have some systemic problems?
Great question. We hear this question just as frequently as you do, namely at our newcomers briefing or after the resident has taken a look at the home that's being offered, and essentially we tell them the truth. We have deposits in our water, and the water can be unsightly, but it's completely safe, and it's fixable by allowing the water to run for about 30 seconds or so. Okay. So turn on your bathroom faucet, turn on your bathroom sink, let that water run for about 30 seconds. At that point, it should be clear, and it's completely safe for use again.
Okay, so we really want our residents to just turn on the water in the morning, make sure that it runs for a little bit before they take a shower, brush their teeth, things of that nature and stuff. I suspect that we would want them to really kind of flush the systems or turn on all their water faucets when they go away for a long weekend, like this past weekend for Labor Day. Come into the residence, just turn the water on, let it run for a few seconds to clear everything, flush the commodes, and everything should be fine.
Absolutely. That's literally the way that you can clear your brown water.
Okay.
Not running your lines or flushing your lines isn't going to help that sediment clear at all. So you want to make sure that you're running it until it's clear. And for most of our homes, it's about 30 seconds or so. Okay.
So another item that we hear a lot is about mildew. And mainly it's mildew in the bathroom. That's why I kind of saved the question until we got here. If a resident or family member sees mildew in the molding around the bathtub, they see it on the painted wall, something of that nature, what can they do about it, or do they just simply call a service order in and DPW comes out and takes care of it?
So there's a couple of things. Mildew is, I hate to say it, but it's common. The climate that we live in is pretty humid. Unfortunately, we don't have the best exhaust systems in our traditional or unrenovated homes. They're not as powerful as they need to be, and that's something that we're aware of and something that we're addressing as we modernize our homes for our families. But the first thing that I would tell them to do is make sure that you air it out. Don't close the door after you take a shower. Let the door stay open. Let some of that moisture come out. Utilize the exhaust system, but if you do find that you are having mildew in your bathroom, you can simply clean it up. You can wipe it off, clean it up with a simple solution. And if you find that you're having a recurring issue with mildew, please reach out to DPW's the service order function.
Okay.
And they will be able to come out, remove any mildew that you may have in your bathroom as well.
Okay, so if I can clean it because it's on the tile, then obviously a family cleans it, no big deal. But if it gets into the molding or it's on a painted wall or something of that nature, I just simply call DPW and they come out and take a look at it and then take necessary actions.
That's the route that most of our families go. However, self-help again is one of those places where you can take up caulking if you're handy and you can clean it out and you want to re-caulk yourself and not wait for DPW to come. They also provide paint if you clean and you notice that you need a touch-up of paint. But you have the option. Our families definitely have the ability to do the work themselves if they're capable and choose to do so. Or utilize DPW service order. Okay,
all right, great. Hey, I know you're really busy. I really appreciate this. I got another question that I want to ask you and stuff, but we'll do that outside. Okay, all right, thanks. So Ms. Sutton, my last question for you. If I've never been to Baumholder, if I haven't arrived yet into Baumholder, if I just want to find additional information, where do I go?
So I would tell you first to go to the Rheinland-Pfalz website.
Okay.
It's an Army website, USAG Rheinland-Pfalz. There will be links to housing. There will also be links to pretty much everything that we have in the community. Another really good resource is Army's AHOUS website, and it's ahous.gov. And you can select the installation that you're going to. Once you select Baumholder, floor plans will pop up, photos of the housing that we have available. There will be links to the wait list as well. Just tons of information will be accessible on that AHOUS website.
Okay, so I know on my orders that every soldier receives, there's normally kind of several websites that I can go to. I can probably just go to my search engine and type in U.S. Army Garrison Rheinland-Pfalz and it will kind of point me in that direction along with some other general areas to find out information. Am I able to email, call or something like that if I'm at a duty station in the U.S. to find out a little bit more information?
You can absolutely email. The AHOUS website has a direct link to customer service.
Nice.
And that information will funnel to our office. If you have the ability to use DSN, our DSN number is listed on the website as well, but just in case, it's 314-531-2976.
Okay.
But there are a number of ways to contact us. We're actually in the process of establishing a Facebook page for housing.
Okay,
and
very
links
nice.
to that will be provided on AHOUS as well, and that will give you a direct point of contact to the housing team, and we're accessible.
All righty. Well, thanks, Miss Sutton. I know you're a very busy woman and stuff, and I really appreciate you taking us around and showing us and answering, and equally important, answering all of our questions and stuff. For our community members, I thank you a whole lot, and I really appreciate what you're doing for us. Thank you.
Absolutely. Welcome to Baumholder.